All is Grace, a Ragamuffin Memoir, Brennan Manning, starting at page 192. Some have labeled my message one of cheap grace. In my younger days, their accusations were a gauntlet thrown down, a challenge, but I'm an old man now, and I don't care. My friend Mike Yaconelli used the phrase unfair grace, and I like that. But I've come across another I would like to leave with you. I believe Mike would like it. I know I do. I found it in the writings of the Episcopal priest Robert Farrar Capon. He calls it Vulgar grace. Quote, "In Jesus, God has put up a gone fishing sign on the religion shop. He's done the whole job in Jesus once and for all and simply invited us to believe it, to trust the bizarre, unprovable proposition that in him, every last person on earth is already home free without a single religious exertion. No fasting till your knees fold, no prayers till you get the right or else. No standing on your head with your right thumb in your left ear and reciting the correct creed. No nothing. The entire show has been set to rights in the mystery of Christ, even though nobody can see a single improvement. Yes, it's crazy, and yes, it's wild and outrageous and vulgar. And any God who would do such a thing is a God who has no taste. And worst of all, it doesn't sell worth of beans, but it is good news. The only permanently good news there is, and therefore I find it absolutely captivating. My life is a witness to vulgar grace. A grace that amazes as it offends. A grace that pays the eager beaver who works all the day long the same wages as the grinning drunk who shows up at 10 till 5. A grace that hikes up the robe and runs breakneck towards the prodigal reeking of sin and wraps him up and decides to throw a party, no ifs, ands, or buts. A grace that raises bloodshot eyes to a dying thief's request, "Please remember me," and assures him, "You bet." A grace that is the pleasure of the Father, fleshed out in the carpenter Messiah, Jesus the Christ, who left his Father's side not for heaven's sake, but for our sakes, yours and mine. This vulgar grace is indiscriminate compassion. It works without asking anything of us. It's not cheap, it's free. And as such, it will always be a banana peel for the orthodox foot and a fairy tale for the grown-up sensibility. Grace is sufficient, even though we huff and puff with all our might to try to find something or someone it cannot cover. Grace is enough. He is enough. Jesus is enough.